It's 5:40, whatever, 7:06. Thank you for your patience, everybody. Let's call this meeting to order. And can we have a roll call?
Chairperson Drysdale,
Here?
Vice Chair Dineo, Commissioner Horton, Commissioner Flakes, Commissioner Smith, Commissioner Moore, Commissioner Mowers. A quorum is present.
Okay. We'll jump right into number 4, public comment. Is there anybody who'd like to present public comment?
Hi, Sharon Ross, Capital City Arts Initiative. I just wanted to let you know that CCIA has a new exhibition up in the Courthouse Gallery by Tom Gilbertson. They are some amazing watercolors. The reception is this Wednesday from 5 to 6:30, and we'll do the artist introduction at 5:30, so I hope you can come. The show at WNC's Bristlecone Gallery is Big Deal by Joan Arrizabalaga. It's work sculptures that deal with Nevada's gaming. She worked as her evening job was working for Harris in the back, doing wardrobe. She had lots of access to some gaming items. They're pretty amazing, and that reception is Wednesday, June 26th from 5 to 6:30. WNC's student show is up in the Brick. Fresh Outlook, there's no reception for that show, but the work is up through mid-August, I believe, and I hope you can go see it. And then we have the NAA Invitational here. So we've got some handouts. You want me to pass them out, Anna, or can you? You got them? They already passed them out? Okay, good. These were handouts that were passed out on the table at the Nevada Arts Council's conference at the end of May. And I thought that it would be a good idea if each of you received them. These are both produced by Americans for the Arts, known as an acronym as AFTA. Americans for the Arts is the lobbying organization for the arts nationally. So if you sign up on their website, you'll get all kinds of information on when things are happening in Congress. But these two pieces, I thought you all might like to see. So do you have any questions? Thank you.
Thank you. This is really great information. Anybody else for public comment? Okay, we'll move on to number 5, approval of the minutes. Has everybody reviewed the minutes? Do I have a motion?
Barbara Dineo, for the record, of a motion to approve the minutes of, when was it?
March 11th.
July. Yeah, March 11th.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay. Number 6, for possible action, discussion and possible action regarding recommendation to the Carson City Redevelopment Authority for the allocation of up to $25,000 from the redevelopment revolving fund to nonprofit organizations for arts and cultural events and projects. Go ahead, Anna.
Thank you, Chair. I'll take this one. I'm Anna Freeman, Arts and Culture Supervisor in Parks and Rec. We created an ad hoc impartial panel with 5 individuals who all have grants experience to score all of the grants. You have all of the scores as well as all of the comments with some minor redaction so that to remove the name of the organization in some of those comments. But you have all of those in your packet in pages 15 through 19-ish. The decision before you tonight is essentially how to fund based on those scores. So option 1 would be to fully fund the top 3. You can see that on page 16. That would be, I should note that all of the organizations requested the maximum of $5,000. So the top 3 would get $5,000, and then it could be tiered down $3,000, $3,000, $2,000, $2,000. That would be option number 1. Option number 2 on page 17 of your packet would be to fully fund the top 5, and the 2 lowest scoring applications would not receive funding. And option number 3 would be to fully fund the top 3 and then split the remaining.
Okay. Discussion, thoughts, recommendations?
Susan Mowers for the record. I think, first of all, I just wanted to say, Anna, that this was so much easier to read through, and I'm really grateful that we did all the work to revamp this process. It was very, very helpful. I've been torn as I've been kind of debating this because, trying to get the maximum amount of dollars to the organizations. For me, I am split between 1 and 2, so I'm definitely here for the what my fellow commissioners would recommend. But that would be, I'm more partial to 1 just because it gives funding to everybody. However, having full funding for the top 5 is I really like how you broke it down. So anyway, that's my 2 cents.
Barbara Dineo for the record. Did I miss something? Do we not get to see these applications? It would just, a group out there said, we can do this, 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 and this, and then we have to vote, but we don't know what they're for?
Anna Freeman for record, yes, we had mentioned at the last meeting to provide the scores without
Okay.
giving the full application because it would, there's no way to redact the organization's name if you have the entire application. You know who it is.
I want to add to what Susan mentioned. I really liked how this was laid out. The options will be the tough part, or maybe not so tough, but having the redacted names I think is great because that lets us focus more on the comments, and the comments were very illuminating. So I really like this process as well. I think I'm partial to option 1 and 3, but also happy to hear from everybody else.
Sam Flake is here. Who was the panel? What entity was the panel?
They were all in, Anna Freeman for the record. The panel will consist of 5 individuals, came through recommendations from our grants administrator. They all had some sort of grant experience, not necessarily arts.
Okay, so the idea here is for us to be impartial in judging, not by who we know. It's a small town; everybody knows everybody, essentially. But that's essentially the idea here, is that we're adjudicating just based on merit.
Absolutely. Thank you
All right.
for the question. I'd like to expand on that just a little bit because if you have an organization that has an event or a project that you know a lot about, or it's important to you, or you value it more than another event personally based on, I like music more than visual art, or I value theater more than I value whatever. To keep those personal opinions out of it and distribute funding strictly based on the application. The highest scoring application I can confidently tell you was the best application. It doesn't mean that it will be the best event, but if you start adding in those other factors, when dealing with city funding, we could probably get away with it, but working toward hopefully subgranting twice the amount in future years with federal funding, it would absolutely not be allowed. So that unbiased, impartial scoring is really important.
Mike Smith for the record. Hi, Anna. So were any of the applications first-time submissions? Or these were,
I do not believe so.
okay. Then my next question, the adjudicators, were they previous grant submissions who actually submitted grants for this grant?
Excellent question. No, none of the panelists have submitted for this grant.
Okay, so they have submitted for other grants, but not
Correct.
particularly this grant. Okay. And can you tell us, as I look at option 3, 2, 4, 6, 7, how many applications were submitted?
There were 8 applications submitted, but one was ineligible due to some errors in the budget. It didn't fit the requirements that we laid out.
Okay. Then my final question, I know I said 2, I'm sorry. Has there been any feedback given to the, let's say, the ones who had a score of 83.2 or an 83 versus 95.4? Or any feedback been given at all, but not at this time?
None of the applications have received any feedback other than what is publicly available in your packet.
Okay, thank you.
Interesting.
I'm sorry, I'm not sure if this was getting at that. Again, just the application is being scored, so we didn't, unless there was like a typo or something, they didn't get a chance to review their feedback and resubmit, if that's what you're getting at, sorry. It's one and done.
My comment was going to be, I kind of like option 2.
And just as a reminder, option 2 is to fully fund the top 5. It's on page 17.
Well, I would be happy to hear a motion of some sort, if we're there yet.
Mike Smith for the record. I don't think everyone has really stated their opinion or voted which option they're going to go with. Well, so is that what you're asking right now?
Yeah.
Well, I like option 3 because this gives everyone who submitted, because that's why I asked the question, she said was 8, and they were ineligible because of some technical area, so that still gives the 7 who submitted applications something. Because personally, if I submitted an application or my organization submitted an application, I would want to be able to receive something from the grant, knowing I adhered to the rubric. Maybe it wasn't polished as well as maybe the person who received the 95.4, but I don't want to expound on that, but I support option number 3.
Well, let's do that then. Let's, I guess each say, you've heard from 4 of us. Do either of you have an opinion of which option you prefer?
Sam Flake is here. I like option 3. That, you know, at least everybody's getting at least something. Where $25,000 is not a lot of money to be supporting the arts, but you know, we got to do what we can. So I think that's important.
Well, I'm for option 1, Barbara Daneo. Because again, everybody's getting something, and I don't know, I have to learn this system first, because this is strange to me. But that's my choice.
Bethany, Susan Mowers for the record. I wonder if it is between, the majority of us being between 1 and 3, the difference of 1 being, having a little bit more tiered, so that those who scored higher do get a higher amount. If the commissioners, Sam and Michael, who are thinking about number 3, if they would, I'm just curious why they chose number 3 over number 1. How's that?
Well, since you asked, I mean, it's like $500, so, you know, like 6 and a half dozen other. I mean, $500 is $500. I got that, but I mean, if we came down to 1 or 3, I could support either one, but I definitely can't support 2.
I'm with you.
I did notice in the comments, and this isn't uniform across the comments, but on the last two that scored the lowest, this application did not meet the minimum requirements in the area of the budget, and the other one did not meet the requirement of the grant, did not feel the requirements of the grant were fully met. That I was really torn between 1 and 3 for those reasons. I mean, then everybody gets something. But I do like, oh, now maybe I'm contradicting myself. No, I did like the tiered of number 1 so that, you know, the ones that are in 4th and 5th place, at least they are getting a little bit more. They met the requirements, whereas the others did not. According to that reviewer, I don't want to say that that's, you know, written in stone, but that's where I was going back and forth on those 2 versions.
If I may, Anna Freeman. I did ask for clarification during our panel meeting after the preliminary scoring, and I did clarify with that commenter, that panelist, that they were indeed justifying their low score. They did meet all the technical requirements, that it wasn't ineligible, just to be clear, but it was perhaps some things were not as clear, or some of the things were not. I believe they, hold on, let me see if they said, one commenter said about the 6th place, it's not really specific. There was analysis of the strategic plan alignment, but no mention of collaboration. So it was those sort of things that were missing. They are eligible to receive funding, but it was lacking.
Well, what is the appetite of the commission? Do we want to come to a consensus? Does somebody want to put forward a motion and jump into a vote? How do you want to proceed?
Madam Chair, Mike Smith for the record. I would like to make a motion that we go with option number 1, because based on the scores, I'm looking at the top 3 scores, 5, the next 2, 3, and then the bottom 2 under 85%, or a grade rate of 83%. That they received the 2,000. That's my motion.
Second.
Okay, motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, motion carries. Great.
Thank you, Chair. Would you like me to remove the big black block?
Does everybody want to see what they just awarded?
Yeah.
Okay, let's see it. The big reveal.
Like shooting in the dark.
Oop, pardon me. Super high tech here. So as recommended in option number 1, Capital City Arts Initiative will receive 5,000. Oh, yes, sorry. As awarded under option number 1, Capital City Arts Initiative will receive 5,000. Wild Horse Productions will receive 5,000. Mile High Jazz Band Association will receive 5,000. Carson City Symphony Association will receive 3,000. Whoop, pardon. Sierra Nevada Ballet will receive 3,000. Nevada Dance Company will receive 2,000. And Brewery Arts Center will receive 2,000. And I believe we can move on to the next.
Okay, excellent. All right, now we are on 6B, discussion only, discussion regarding officially naming 801 North Root Street.
Oh, that's me again. Hi, I'm Anna Freeman, the Arts and Culture Supervisor. We mentioned classes being held in the art building, the art room, the the building that used to be the preschool, et cetera. We are holding arts classes in that building, and it has not been officially named. In order to get signage, we need an official name. It certainly could be named after something or someone, or it could be as simple as just officially saying it's the art building versus the community art building, et cetera. So that will go into a public survey. And if you'd like if you have any recommendations or comments on it, I'd be happy to include those in the survey.
I was racking my brain trying to come up with something really clever to offer as a suggestion, and I couldn't come up with anything, but I hope our panel does. Any comments or suggestions from the commission?
Sam Flake is here. For clarification, if it were to be named after a person, does the person have to be dead?
You can see in the packet some resolution from a million years ago. Hold on. The naming policy. It's page 37, thank you, in your packet, where consideration for naming involves, nope. Number one, names, if possible, should have geographic, topographic, historical, or individual significance, generally recognized and known throughout the area. Where consideration for naming involves geographical, topographical, or historical connotations, the director of the Parks and Rec should solicit help from historical societies, subdividers, and other groups having knowledge of that area. Names submitted for individuals, living or dead, should be those who have contributed greatly to the community or appropriate to the function of the facility to be named. That's the part I was looking at. A part of the selection process may include, whether desirable, a contest or competition. Priority should be given to those names which have been unrecognized previously. Individuals and organizations should be encouraged to forward proposed names to the Department of Parks and Rec. That would be me, A. Freeman at carson.org. And then it goes through the procedures of whose responsibility it is for each part. So essentially, it can be named after a person, living or dead, if that person has given significantly to the community and particularly to the arts in the community.
Susan Mowers for the record, just what's the timeline on this in case we do come up with brilliant ideas not here to submit to you?
I believe the Parks and Rec Commission will also be reviewing these, so it will need to be in the next month or so. You've got some time if you think of something you want to send to me. Go right ahead.
Sam Flake is here. We don't have to convene again in order to make an official submission. We just email you, hey. this is
Correct.
the idea. Okay.
You members of the commission as well as members of the public can email me. We haven't told the whole public yet, but at any time, yeah, anyone can send me a recommendation that will be included in the survey or voting or contest, whatever you want to call it.
I'm trying, it's Barbara, for the record. I'm trying to think of a clever way to say it, but one of our former members and helped to even establish the Cultural Commission is Stan Jones. And while the city has something that they've done through other means, I think he was very, very interested in the arts. And I think Stan should be recognized.
I
Sam
will
Flake is
include
here.
that.
That was my idea, was Stan Jones, but
Stan
I
Jones.
didn't want to.
I'm with you, Stan.
I want to entertain other things other than just jump into, oh, Stan Jones, when, it should be discussed. It should be out in the open.
Yeah.
That's
But he-
definitely a choice that should be put out for people.
I mean, his tenure on the Board of Supervisors, all of the work he put into serving on this committee, he's kind of earned it.
Yeah.
And he's really cared a lot about arts in this city.
Yeah.
So that's why I said that.
I agree.
Bethany Drysdale for the record. For a building that's going to be a place of creativity and creating art. I would just hope that it's not the art building, you know, that there is something creative, the Jones Art Joint or something, you know. Um, but I like the idea too of recognizing somebody who's given so much to the arts and culture in our community. Yeah, Stan's Annex,
Ooh.
something fun, not just
That's kind of cool.
the Stan Jones Building B or whatever.
Noted, thank you.
Okay. All right. Any further discussion, or can we move on to the next item? Okay, we're going to move on. For possible action, discussion and possible action regarding a recommendation to the city manager regarding a proposal for a public art donation titled Catch by J.L. Hoffman at Carson Ridge Disc Golf Course, or Golf Park.
Thank you, Chair. Anna Freeman for the record. You all on the commission officially recommended and we approved a public art donation proposal form, and here is the first donation proposal. If you haven't been to Carson Ridge in the last 5 years, then you might not know that there is already a statue there. It's called Catch. It's by the artist J.L. Hoffman. And the owners of Carson Ridge, Disc Golf Landscape Architecture, who had a big part in updating the landscaping and the art, they were friends with the artist, and essentially the artist gave it to them to be there in the park, but it wasn't officially accepted by the city. It's been there for years without any maintenance, I might add. So they have submitted extensive information if you'd like to read about it. They also discussed at the Parks and Rec Commission. So the Parks and Rec Commission has already recommended this to move forward. And if you recommend it today, it will go to the city manager for approval. There she is, or he is, I don't know. It's a metal sculpture of someone throwing a little disc for disc golf. So it's definitely site specific, and you can see in the, it's in the island of the parking lot there. So it's kind of out of reach. It's not likely to get hit with too many discs, and it's a pretty beloved statue, I think. So there's all sorts of information in the packet there. I'm not sure if you need me to go over anything in particular in order to recommend it. It's being donated by Disc Golf Landscape Architecture, and the artist is J.L. Hoffman. It's titled Catch. It's a metal sculpture, 5 foot 8 inches by about 28 inches, and there is if there's any information you don't see in the packet, just let me know. There's quite a bit that they shared here.
I'd like to make a motion. I move to recommend approval as presented.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion carries, and my apologies to the artist for mispronouncing their name.
I'll pass it along.
Okay. For discussion only, presentation and discussions of updates on Carson City Arts and Culture Program activities.
All right, that's me. If you did not attend the Cinco de Mayo celebration or the Mark Twain Days, you missed out. They were both wonderful celebrations. There was a final report given at the Culture and Tourism Authority just earlier today. If you're interested in the details of how many food trucks and how many attendees, and I believe there were 300 in attendance at the Friday night food truck with 11 food trucks. You can see the winners of the taco competition and all that posted on our Facebook. We also had a ribbon cutting. Thank you for those of you who were able to attend for the mosaic tile mural as part of the Chamber of Commerce Leadership Project and in memory of the great Stan Jones. um, that had hundreds of community members all paint a tile, and it really came together beautifully. If you haven't seen it yet, check it out in Sealy Loop, just the other side of the park. Just last week, we had our summer break youth arts enrichment camp. There were about 15 kids enjoying new arts creation. We have amazing, talented teaching artists from Sierra Arts Foundation running those camps. So they are very high caliber, and everyone who has attended has said wonderful things. So some of the kids were like, we don't want to leave. And then just this past Saturday, June 8th, we had the first of our Family Arts Saturdays, and that will be a recurring class, 2 Saturdays a month, the second and fourth Saturdays, with a small asterisk for Thanksgiving, or I think Nevada Day maybe lands on that. You can see the full schedule on carson.org/arts and on Facebook. We are also anticipating the Art of Creative Journaling. That class is for adults and will be the second and fourth Wednesday at 5:30 p.m. And that will have an exploration of different mediums with short projects, so you can kind of complete one page, and it can be part of a journal, and you can keep coming back and finding more pages with more mediums, or if you just want to come one time, it still feels like a complete project in that creative space. Fabrication has begun for Sense of Place by Karen Yank. We are expecting installation around September. There was additional edits made based on the Board of Supervisors' input, and there's a little bit of timeline mishmash with permitting, but we are the artist has until the end of the year in order to complete the contract. We're still hoping for well before Nevada Day. The Bob Boldrick Block Party is coming up on September 21st. Fun to say, fun to attend. That will be hosted by Parks and Rec, including myself. I'm on the team there. Essentially, we're celebrating this theater right here in our community center and its 50th anniversary. So from 11 to 2-ish on Saturday afternoon, there will be booths around the property, hopefully out on the lawn in the gym if weather necessitates, of various organizations, some of which we are grant recipients, providing activities for kids, providing information about who they are and what they do in the community. And it'll all wind up with a big showcase performance at 2 p.m. with several performing groups that have graced the stage prior and would like to celebrate the 50th anniversary on the stage. Murals and Music Festival, the second annual, will be September 26th through 28th. I hope that we will again have a proposal for a mural to be on city property, and if that's the case, it will come to you for approval in September. With a panel prior. So I will contact probably 1 or 2 of you to be on the panel if we have a proposal so that it can be ready for recommendation in September. There are currently open calls for muralists for that festival. Val's not here tonight, but if you're a mural artist, if you know a mural artist who's interested in participating, they can send their work and resume to val@breweryarts.org. That's also linked on the Carson City Arts and Culture Facebook page and on carson.org/arts. We have an open call for artist vendors as well for that block party. So if there's an artist who would like to show their art, possibly sell their art, or just be there part of the party, they just contact me, afreeman@carson.org. And that also goes for local businesses or organizations who want to share a free activity for the kids, they can just contact me and we'll find them a spot. We are also looking for volunteers for those events as well as for the classes. So if you have someone in your life who may be interested in volunteering at a festival, at a block party, or for an art class, again, just contact me. We've got lots of volunteer opportunities as well.
Real quick, how old do they have to be?
The volunteers?
Yes.
There's no age restriction, but a parent needs to approve and sign if they're under 18.
Like there's a certain 12-year-old I'm thinking of who could stand to benefit from some volunteer opportunities. So that's why I'm asking. I'm going to volunteer him.
That might be a great parent-child activity together.
Without roping me into it.
Oh, then 18.
Oh, never mind.
That's all I've got for you, Chair.
All right, thank you. Staff updates, anything that anybody, or not,
I know it's a little repetitive on the agenda there.
back and forth, yeah. Anything from the commission?
I wanted to make a comment regarding the murals. Anna, if you could get a chance, could you talk to Corey at the airport and just pitch that idea out there? We talked about it a little bit last year, and he said they may be interested. So if you could fly that by him again, so to speak.
I will fly that by him. I should see him Thursday.
Right on.
Like the way you did there, Curtis. Fly
Yeah,
right by.
just fly by. I'd like to make just an announcement that the Rotary Club is sponsoring their Carson Brew Fest is on the 22nd from 3 to 8. And gets a lot of people and it's great fun. And nobody gets out of line. Amazing.
And I can attest to it, it's a lot of fun. It's one of my favorite events. All right, anything else?
I have one more thing regarding Mark Twain Days. During the Mark Twain Ball at the Nevada State Museum, that was a ball. That was so fantastic. Michael, you were there. Val was there too, but she's not here. I think that was just, fantastic, and I hope that they continue to do that as part of the festivities, and I would really market that big time, because that was really something special to be able to have that in the Nevada State Museum, and be able to network with other people in the community and other history nerds, not unlike myself. I just think that was just a huge asset to the event. So.
Mike Smith for the record, excuse me. Speaking of the Mark Twain Days, yours truly had the opportunity to facilitate a session on Mark Twain and the influence on African Americans that was held at the Brewer Arts Center. We had about 27 people to attend. It was the first time me facilitating such the Mark Twain exhibits, and they want me again next year. I plan to do it again next year too, so I look forward to that. It was very well attended. And just on a personal note, I will be attending the Juneteenth Festival this Sunday at the Rancho San Rafael Park in Reno. This is their 36th annual event sponsored by NAPSCUS, which is the Northern Nevada Historical Black Culture Alliance. So I'm looking forward to that and to celebrate Juneteenth. Thank you.
Hey, any future agenda items you'd like to see?
Sam Flake is here. So I've been watching the emails. Can you give a synopsis, what you can about what's going on with the box project with Public Works, the muralizing of boxes for streets? Yeah. Is that on? Is that going to the next agenda? Okay. There isn't anything you can elaborate on it? Okay.
Okay, final public comment? Anybody? Yes, sir.
Thank you, Chair, Commissioners. Denny French, Carson City, Nevada. It's taken me a bit. The culture meeting, I was about ready to fold over and fade out. I wasn't as prepared as I'd like to be for this meeting. I did do my best to find the packets, and I was not able to, so it was sort of like a blind run at 6A. I felt that was sort of AI to me. It was sort of, or IA, whichever, just didn't seem very feelable or huggable or even understandable from a person's perspective that's completely at odds to understand any of it. But I would like to say is every time that we got to look to the Board of Supervisors and all those that might have the ability to add more money to your coffers. You can't run a place like this that hopes to have the art standing in the area without more funds. I believe you did a good job of dispersion of it and having, I'm going to have all over Anna because I have to catch up. I want to know what happened and then have a chance to look. Unfortunately, I wasn't prepared to state. And I am very happy with the golf course for the disc course art. Very happy. The individuals that worked so hard to create that place, and everybody's names are off my map today, and I apologize for that. And I really do want to look into getting the name. So Stan Jones was a gentleman I only had peripheral opportunity to get to know, but his endeavors through other people's expression of his works and his time and his efforts highly, well, I should put it this way, put him highly in my marks of a person while I didn't get to know personally, and that's a regret of mine. Not necessarily his, but I'm so pleased that that would be a consideration for that specific use. Thank you very much.
All right, I think we'll all concur that we would love more money to disperse, so thank you for that. All right, if there's nothing else, oh, I'm so sorry. Please do come up.
Eleanor Bugley. I'm representing Carson City Symphony and Mile High Jazz Band. And I wanted to commend you on your efficient review of the grant applications this year. I thought I would be here for hours. The process went very well. And I wanted to let you know, Mile High Jazz Band has a jazz and poetry event tomorrow night at 7 at Gina's Good Life Music and Lounge. It's free. We have 7 poets, including the poet laureate of Reno and the 17-piece band and Jackie Ford, vocalist. And both organizations have a whole bunch of things coming up, but I'll let you look online for those. So thank you.
And you'll still get to Minden on time, so that's great. Anybody else? Okay, with that, we're adjourned.